Let's take you through the grid for our next race. As some drivers getting a bit sideways coming out of the dummy grid. It's Junior Rotax, Heat 1. So on pole position, the fastest driver through time qualifying in the group stages, Mika van der Pevet and Krik Knoren will be on the front row of the grid, as we've already had a spinner. That is the 266 of new Junior Rotax driver, moving up from Mini last year, Glenn Schwillens, who's due to start 21st. Kasper Schurmans and Timo Sidler on row 2. Kevin Bartenstein and Bolowet row 3. Matteo Denkovic and Nico Skell rounding up the top 4 rows. Marlon Di Salvo and Max Cuthbert complete the top 10. Zane Kreker and Olivier Jonkers row 6. Batuan Kumas and Ruben Verheyen row 7. Ryan Bourguignon and Armand Hamilton row 8. Thomas Ingram Hill and Sebastian Koch rounding up the top 9 rows, with Jake Menton and Sinja Onbol from Denmark rounding up the top 20. Glenn Schwillens, Mads Larsens, Danny Shields due to start 23rd ahead of Boris Maximov, with Kaz Dobben, Timo Jungling, Victor Galmiche, Luca Kulin and Kasper Nissen completing the 29-strong grid. And they go into the official formation lap ahead of their 10-minute plus an additional lap heat. So the red lights ignited on the starting gantry for this particular race, which will also be 10 minutes plus an additional lap. Wasn't much in it in terms of the group qualifying stages earlier on today. But Kasper Nissen was excluded post-qualifying for a technical non-conformity. All results called by myself up here in the commentary box over the course of the day will be provisional pending any sporting and technical checks post-race. Good to hear from long-standing BNL karting series fan and karting fan in general, Tommy, on the YouTube chat, saying lunchtime at work with BNL, no better combo. That's what we like to hear. So the red lights are ignited on the starting gantry for this first Junior Rotax heat. There will be 3 of them in total. The drivers now getting into formation. Looks like we have no Danny Shields on the grid, so I'm not too sure if there is an issue. The red lights are on the gantry. Junior Rotax, Heat 1 about to go into the tram lines. The Rotax engines roar into life. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights seem to, well, I was seeing if the lights were going to go out. It looks like the timer has started ticking down. And Danny Shields has actually been released from the dummy grid, so... Right, it looks like we have got full course yellow conditions being showcased around the circuit, so we have got a variable full start due to a start light issue. Ah, right. Red flag has been called as a direct result, so the timer has been reset. So the driver's now being sent around for another formation lap. Well, Lucas asking what happened. Well, as far as I'm aware, I did see that the red lights did not go out, and then the red flag was brandished. So that's all the information that I actually have at my disposal, I'm afraid. So the drivers will now go back around. Right. I have just seen a cart being pushed away, which is Lucas Gels from France in the 204. So that cart is now being pushed towards Marshall post number 7 on the inside of turn 12. And there is also a drama that is for... right. That is Timo Jungling on the back straightaway. So no Lucas Gels, no Timo Jungling, who are due to start 8th and 26th respectively. So we'll have 27 drivers going into the tram lines for this first of 3 junior Rotax heats. And we start going into the tram lines. Now the revs start to rise. The Rotax roar builds to a crescendo. The lights are out this time. We've already got one driver pulling over to the right-hand side on the start phase. That would have been Marlon Di Salvo as we've had a turnaround, and that's a GKS Lemons power cart. 180 degrees the wrong way through turn 2 on the opening time. They seem to be falling by the wayside. Thomas Ingram Hill also not taking any further part in the race either. And he's having to sit by the sidelines at Marshall post 2 off of turn number 3. Field now making its way through into turn 8 on the opening lap, and there is a battle for the race lead. And that looks to be Knoren in the 272 with Kasper Schormans looking towards... Well, that's for the lead of the race, and Schormans makes the move. Threads the eye of the needle on Knoren. And they've got... That looks to be Mika van der Pavert in 3rd place, not too far behind. So Schormans now has the lead after the opening lap of the race. 9 minutes still to go, plus an additional lap. It's Schormans, Knoren, van der Pavert, Louet up to 4th, Sidler in 5th, Jonkers, Verheyen, Cuthbert, Armand Hamilton and Zane Quaker rounding out the top 10 positions. And in the meantime, van der Pavert has got through for 2nd place. Louet looking to also push. So is Tino Sidler. As they all get heavy onto the brakes into turn 7 off of the Europlan once again. Schormans has started to build a considerable lead. That's probably the best part of 10 kart lengths from Mika van der Pavert at best. As they come through turn 10 into turn 11. Max Cuthbert looking to try and see if he can get through on the 245 of Ruben Verheyen. That would be for 7th place. 2x2 a little bit further back from the 234 base set of Chelmsford and Essex. As now Sidler goes for the lunge up the inside of Louet through turn 2 and the Swiss driver makes it stick. As well, we've had a little bit more drama as well. I think I spot an RS competition cart and somebody else might be a Lando Norris chassis as well. They are falling by the wayside. Sinja Ornborg, Kaz Tobin, I think might be the other driver that might have been involved in that. Marshall's quickly on the scene. But the freight train behind Louet is about to implode, and it nearly does so. Armand Hamilton Sends it up the inside through on Tino Sidler. Oh no! Round and that's a spin around big time for Olivier Yonkers, who got tagged coming out of turn number 11. Olivier Yonkers had a major scare right there. I thought he might have nearly done a bit of gymkhana in the form of Travis Pastrana right there and then, but it was an assist from somebody behind. So Yonkers very closely getting through, well, nearly catching the wall, and that would not have been a good way to start the weekend. 6 minutes and 40 still to go. So Armand Hamilton doing a very good, clean job getting up the inside of Boluet. They've got Tino Sidler behind them. Max Cuthbert is not too far adrift either. But Shawmans is now being caught by the two behind. So we are down to 24 out of 29 drivers. There's an attempted move going through. That was by Boaz Maximov. And that was possibly on Batuan Kumas for position. That would have been for 11th place. So Maximov looking to get into the top 10 early. And a very good afternoon to Conrad Bayer, who's also watching on the stream. Thanks for the thumbs up iMessage earlier on when I gave you a shout out. I had to do that. So top three, line astern, over half a second covered them last time around. We're about to complete lap number 5. We're still running in around about 15th position after that nasty scare. And now there has been a change for the lead. Casper Shawmans has lost out to Mika van der Pevet. On that particular occasion, there's a few more musical chairs moves happening a little bit further back, which involves a certain Tino Sidler and Max Cuthbert. That is Ruben Verheyen, who gives the Swiss driver a little bit of a touch going into turn number 7. Be careful not to push in the front fairing clips on that kart, otherwise that's an automatic 5-second time penalty. There's a little bit of a moment there for Tino Sidler. Runoff area used coming out of turn 10. Now that's put him straight into the front fairing of Max Cuthbert, who goes up the inside. And with them, that was the 219 of Ryan Bourguignon that went through as well. Now Sidler retaliates up the inside of the French driver. Through into turn 2 to retake the position. Right behind them, they've got Zane Quaker from the United Kingdom. And also Boaz Maximov. So things are getting a little bit more heated under the collar at the bottom part and just outside of the lower half of the top 10. Three minutes and 40 seconds still to go, plus an additional lap. Zane Quaker looking to get through. Bourguignon very late on the brakes going through into turn 10. 3 minutes and 30 plus an additional lap still to go of this race. This is a precursor into what's going to happen, as Boaz Maximov actually launched it up the inside of Zane Quaker, as now Casper Shawmans retakes the lead on lap number 8 from Mika van der Pevet, and that's going to allow Krit Knoren to try and go through up the inside through turn 4. Van der Pevet gets it back on the racing line through into turn 5 to shut the door and keep second. Very close exchange between the trio. Is now into turn 7 off of the Europalan. Oh, this is getting a bit too close for comfort, and what that is allowing is Armand Hamilton and Boluet are starting to close in very quickly indeed. There's a little bit of nudging going on between a couple of the drivers, most notably the drivers in second and third position. Krit Knoren's back end started going sideways to the left, under braking through into turn 10. Armand Hamilton is sizing up the 272 to try and see if he can get through into third position. We'll get the run coming out of the final corner. Hamilton pulls to the inside and goes side pod to side pod and is going to force the move. Gets it done. Bolowet just has got the ringside seat and is waiting and biding his time, whereas it's nose to tail pretty much between Kasper Schormans and Mika van der Pavet on this particular occasion. But the top 5 last time around were covered by just under 1.1 seconds. That looks to be more like 7/10 covering that top 5 right about now as they come through turn number 8. It's now up the inside, Louet up the inside of Knuren through turn 9. The 272 has no other alternative but to keep it out of harm's way and get demoted to 5th place in the process. Batuan Kumas and Glenn Schwillens look to be the next 2 retirees. I'm afraid down to 22 drivers we go. Kasper Schormans leads the field across the line to complete lap number 9. Just under 1 minute and 30 on the timer remains. Van der Pavet looking to try and get through. But Armand Hamilton is now waiting, biding time, getting closer and closer as the timer counts down to 0. Van der Pavet trying to see if he can get Schormans out of the way. But Schormans will know very, very well what Van der Pavet is capable of. Now Bolowet fancies his chance at a win to start off the BNL Karting Series kickoff in the right way possible. So Schormans leads the top 5 into turn 12. Max Cuthbert now in 6th position. 6th, it's Ruben Verheyen, as it's all for themselves as Hamilton up the inside. Through on Van der Pavet on that particular occasion. Bolowet he gets muscled out. Back down to 5th place, courtesy of Knuren. So the chess games at the front of the field continue to play into the hands of others. There's now Max Cuthbert, Ruben Verheyen, Ryan Bourguignon, and also maybe even consider Boris Maximov in the fight for this. Tino Sidler now rounds out the top 10. So the timer has expired. Into turn 10 we go once again. One more lap to go. So lap 11 about to be completed. Kasper Schormans has pretty much led for the most of the race as Van der Pavet goes up the inside of Hamilton through turn number 12. One more lap remains. Van der Pavet looks over the right shoulder. Tries to see if he can maybe make an attacking move to get up the inside of Kasper Schormans through turn 2. Not on that occasion. But he also had to keep his eyes and wits about him because of a certain 242 in the name of Armand Hamilton. As Bolowet up the inside of Knuren going through into turn number 6 and gets through. And there's Max Cuthbert. And now it's a real tussle for the lead. Van der Pavet launches it up the inside of Schormans. Oh no, Hamilton up the back bumper. Knuren exits stage left, I'm afraid, on the outskirts of turn number 8. 3 wide going into turn 7. That never works out. We see that time and time again, and that has compromised several drivers. Now, Bolowet seizes an opportunity. Max Cuthbert could be going for 3rd, but out of the final corner. Heat 1's provisionally going to go to Kasper Schormans as Bolowet gets to within 54 thousandths and gives him the thumbs up sign at the end of it. Van der Pavet takes 3rd place ahead of Max Cuthbert. Ruben Verheyen rounding out your top 5 positions after 12 incredibly spicy laps of racing. So, looking at the results, Kasper Schormans started 3rd, finished provisionally in with the race win, ahead of Bolowet from Belgium. Mika van der Pavet and Max Cuthbert ran out the top 4 with Ruben Verheyen from Belgium completing the top 5 positions. Ryan Bourguignon, Boris Maximov, Armand Hamilton, Tino Sidler and the recovering Olivier Jonkers, who had the biggest scare I think I've ever seen coming out of turn number 11 in my life. Zane Quaker 11th, Kasper Nissen, Kieran Bartenstein, Mateo Denkovic and Sebastian Koch rounding out the top 15. Danny Shields, who was due to start down in 23rd, started from the dummy grid, got released and then finished 16th. Krit Kruren after that turn 8 excursion onto the grass backwards, 17th. Marlon Di Salvo, Jake Menton, with Victor Galmiche, Mads Larsen and Luca Cullen rounding out the top the 22 that made it to the checkered. Unfortunately, on lap 6, Batuan Kumas and Glenn Schwillens retired. Kaz Stobben and Sinja Ornball on lap 1, and on the opening tour, well, lap 2, and on the opening tour, Lucas Sell, Thomas Ingram Hill, and Timo Jungling not even making it to either to the restart or at the end to the actual end of the first lap.